Looking to see what's happening around your home? Ring's Battery Doorbell helps you track packages and see who's at your door in real time. The Outdoor Cam Plus protects your yard at night with a wide field of view and clearer Retinal 2K video. Or upgrade to 4K cameras and doorbells with Retinal Vision for ultra-clear zoom and detail. Your door, your yard, your home. With Ring, it's protected. Shop cameras, doorbells, and more at ring.com now.
Amanda, I was pre-gaming before we started recording because I was texting with Kelly Williams, aka Laguna Biatch.
Love her.
And
love her more. Parasocially, I love her.
No, and honestly, I'm shocked that you guys are not real life friends because you guys would be twinsies. You guys would have the best of times. But we were talking about, I said to her, do the Southern Hospitality girls like just hate Mia for being hot and interesting? What the fuck?
Blue Sky tweeted this, which no one saw, of course, because no one is on Blue Sky.
I
skeeted it. I said, I know we're dealing with like girlfriend betrayal on Summer House, but like we're not in the same category here. Mia doesn't really know Jordan, who looks like a small. Jordan is so small. She looks like a little child. Jordan, I'm so worried you're cold all the time. But like, so Mia is not friends with Jordan. She does not know Jordan. Jordan and Justin. are hot and heavy hook up buddies.
Yeah.
Jordan, unfortunately, is learning the lesson that we all learn, which is like, if you're like, it's actually cool, we're just hooking up, he will be like, good, great. I'll never put in an ounce more effort than that. That's the most effort I'll ever put in. And that's all you'll ever get from me. I love it.
Yeah.
Unforge.
She's like, the fact that she's like, I come here for the 3 F's, fun, you feed me, and we fuck. Justin's like, okay, amazing. I have to do nothing here. Mm-hmm. Like, and that is unfortunately the lesson, you're right, that we learn in our 20s. I think Jordan is a small. She looks very tiny. She looks very young. And I know that she's young and she doesn't have a lot of good friends because why does she have so much blush on her face all the time? The makeup is crazy on Jordan.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's a first season look. If she's on next season, she'll have good makeup. We know that is like just part of it. And also that she is incredibly young. Like she and Lake seem like peers.
Yeah.
And Lake is like a super sweet little young sweetie, you know, like, but It does seem like, it seems like Mia is interesting and that is very threatening to everyone somehow. Like, Maddie, why are you stressed? What you need to be worried about is your boyfriend, Joe Bradley, and the fact that he was on that text thread about Trevor making up a fake rumor about Trevor cheating on you.
She's never going to address that. That's not something she wants to address. It's too difficult for her. Instead, she'll be like, Joe, you were at the bar at 2 a.m., which, by the way, I do believe like Joe probably has some sort of a problem, but she's like, I'm like, baby, you're skirting around the issue.
Yeah, the thing you're actually upset about him, well, the thing she's upset with him for doing is lying to her about going to the bar, which is very, like, that would make me mad, and I'm not sober. Like, don't lie to me about where you are. Totally. I don't, like, that's going to be a problem. But also, the dishonesty, it runs through the relationship, Maddie. You wouldn't be broken up with Trevor. Maybe you would, but, you know, in a different way. You wouldn't have broken his phone and tried to hit him with a shovel.
You wouldn't have fight with that bike taxi, man.
Yeah.
I love that. Like, okay. You did mention we have a heart out. We got to get through a lot of content. We got Summer House, The Valley, and Southern Hospitality. Let's talk about Southern Hospitality first because there's so much stuff to talk about with Summer House.
And The Valley.
You know, I know you did an amazing post about The Valley. We do have to respect history and understand the where things come from.
Mm-hmm.
We have to think about those things when we talk about these television shows. And it's important to take those things into perspective. Okay, Southern Hospitality this week. Leva put another employee to work. She said, Lake, throw me a party at this other establishment. Maddie and Joe are still on the outs because of this drinking. And yes, everybody is mad at Mia for being hot and interesting. Why are we in 2026 shaming a woman for having sick tits?
When everybody said, when they kept talking about her fake boobs, I was like, yeah, let me die being suffocated by those fake boobs, please. They're gorgeous. Like,
Seriously.
Who cares? Who cares? In 2026, I don't care where your boobs come from. I don't really care what they look like, but if they look really good, I'll notice and I'll be like, great boobs, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Everybody, and then also the worst part of it was like this. Okay, Emily is, and since I was texting with Kelly about this, Emmy is such a bizarre fucking person. Like when Emmy gets involved in that, because she's the first one who talks about the boobs.
Mhm.
She's like, they're like, oh, like Lake finds a picture and she's like, I know that picture. That's Mia's fake tit, right? Or that's Mia, though that's definitely Mia in the back. And then Emmy says this thing and she says it in a way which like was so reminiscent of, Emmy, you are an old person who is uncool with every single person in your peers. So then you act like a cool young person around young people and you're such a fucking weirdo. Like Emmy genuinely functions like a lizard in a human suit all the time. That like scene at the picnic where she like cried, Mia, by the way, like calmed her down, brought her to the picnic table, and then Emmy grabbed a piece of steak like it was a fucking baguette and ate it direct. I was like, you're not a human person. You just learned how to be here on Earth.
It feels like she actually has forgotten because season 1, I remember her kind of being like
a lovely girl.
Well, I mean, still, you know, to quote Kara Brown, she was still Crash Bandicoot, but she was like zany in a way that was like high anxiety, stress, but like I believe, and this is just my opinion only, no one come for Nor. I believe we're looking at a no eating, brain shutting down situation.
Mm-hmm. And by the way, you can come for me because I agree. I think she needs to eat. I think in the words of Kim Richards, why don't you eat a piece of bread and calm down? Because I think that is really what's going on. The way she sat down and grabbed that piece of steak in her fist and shoved it in her mouth and bit. I was like, oh my God.
It was a terror to behold. And like, we're in the South. Like, all of this like body shaming and mean girl behavior, I'm like, we're in the South. Unfortunately, it's kind of woven into the fabric. But like also in the South, you use a knife and fork on a steak. Okay. Like it's, I just was like, you can't have it both ways. You can't be like, ew, her gross fake tits. Like
genuinely, she's such a freak. And here's the thing about Emmy. She's a terrible fucking human being. She's truly one of the worst. She is Kelly Dodd level nasty gross, okay? Mm-hmm. But here's the thing. I want Bravo to keep Emmy on the show and like barely pay her anything because I genuinely do enjoy laughing at her every single week. She is such a strange human being. The way she walks in and she's like, I don't have no fake tits, and then like walks away like and like turns
like
around.
Emmy girl, we know. No one thinks that you have implants, and that's fine. You don't have to have them, but no one thinks that you do. It's not a mystery.
It's so crazy. Also, the show cracks me up because I just realized today that Joe Bradley's full name is Joseph Bradley. Like I thought Bradley was a middle name. I
didn't. I knew it was Joe Bradley, but Joseph is it does make it sound so stupid. Like, that's fake.
And that's what cracks me up. Why are we saying this man's full name all the time?
He's Jesse Solomon. He's Jesse Solomon, Joe Bradley. It's a sign of disrespect. And I appreciate it. Like, also, how is everybody in Maddie's life in Charleston ladled with like a New Jersey accent? Joe Bradley, her sobriety. Yes, or she's just her AA sponsor, but like
Yeah.
everybody's like, yo, Maddie, I gotta talk to you. Like it's like Maddie's in The Sopranos and everybody else is in Charleston. It is baffling to me.
That's so true. Did you see the reunion seating? Which, by the way, I'm one of those people who does not give a shit about reunion seating, but it does always alarm me when I see something that doesn't make any sense. Like, apparently, first chair is like Maddie and Joe across from like Lep. I was like, what? That doesn't make any sense at all. And I was like, why is Joe even there? I'd rather see her like sponsor, because the sponsor is dropping bangers.
Yes.
She's wise as fuck. Also, you know, I'm a little gay for her because she looks like she would show me a really good time. She seems like she would be tender in the right places and not so tender at the right times. And
she's got a steady hand and a leadership position, like mentality. I will also say, and I know I'm sure they're not hooking up. Like that's not an appropriate thing to do in that relationship. But there's more chemistry between Maddie and her sponsor than there has ever been for 1 minute between Maddie and Joe Bradley. I don't care for Joe Bradley. I liked him in the first season when he was the underdog. And since then, because it's like, it's sweet to watch someone have a crush. And then it's like gross to watch them like get that crush and then like wash their truck with that. I just like his skin to me looks like it would feel like touching a scuba suit. And I find that very upsetting.
No, he really baffles me in ways like where he has no charisma at all, but somehow he's like, I don't know. It's like, I don't know. It's almost like he just has one skill, and that one skill is like selling tables and bottles. Like that's his one job. His job is door.
Yeah.
Like that's all he does. And that's why he's like still has his job, but like it's very strange. So he just seems like the most awkward person. He's always staring at the camera. He's always constantly
dead-eyed.
Constantly looking at production all the time. This show's been filming for like 4 seasons and we're still here.
He also, it's good. Like, you know, that's that horrible song, Try That in a Small Town. It's like Joe should never try to leave that small town. Like his skills also of like doing tables doesn't translate to a bigger city. Like he doesn't have it. You know, like Maddie could go anywhere. Mia, oh my God, where can she go? Even Emmy in New York, Emmy would fit right in.
She really would. She would be a chain smoking like waitress that would run the main dining table like the fucking Navy. Like
I could see her as an EA making a ton of money and just being an absolute sociopath. Like she
100%.
But like Joe Bradley, never leave Charleston. Don't even try to go to Savannah. You can't hack it. Like you just don't have it. So like, and like Luann throwing him a pity fuck, you know, and then making him eggs a la Francaise. Like he's so lucky. He doesn't even know that he already peaked.
Also, it just is so funny. Like he has no charisma. He is still pretty young, but apparently he cannot have sex if he's drank a lot. And I was like, at your age?
Pick a struggle Joe Bradley.
Oh God, you really have to hold on to Maddie for like a life raft because you got nothing else going on, buddy. Good luck at your emo party. By the way, emo night, they came up with that on Vanderpump Rules a few years ago, and also it's existed since like 2009.
Yeah, it's a disrespectful thievery of their foremothers, Katie and Ariana, etc.
Shishu
and Shishu, good as gold, the Screamo remix. Joe Bradley, you wish.
Real quick, your last thoughts on Southern Hospitality. I'd love to know your thoughts on Justin.
I mean, he is an emotional terrorist.
Mm-hmm.
I am very attracted to him, obviously. That's my type from back in the day. But also like, I like that he's coming to Mia respectfully. Mm-hmm. And I think he might be the first guy to have staying power on this show.
Mm-hmm.
who's like the rotating like guy who tries to hook up with all the girls.
Yeah, he's a rotating sleazebag, but I think that he might have the staying power because I agree. I have admitted this before. I really came around to him. The first time I saw him, I was like, ew, yuck. He doesn't look like he showered. And then I found out he's like half Lebanese and half Irish. And I was like, well, I'm so sorry. I have no choice but to love him.
Sorry.
What?
Sorry.
He's from Boston. He's from the Northeast and he's half Arab, half Irish, the best of the whites. Okay.
I also will say I'm rooting for Michaels to infinity. I think it's fun that he and TJ are hooking up. I also think it's fair for Michael's mom to be like, I don't want to FaceTime on camera. That's a lot to ask to just spring on somebody.
Also, Michael still functions like a little bit of like a whiny teenager because again, he is so young. He's always like, Mom, what? I just want to FaceTime you. God. Like it's just so whiny teenager. And I feel bad for him because obviously he's like looking for validation from his mother. He's like, I ripped the Band-Aid, everything is open all over the television. You have no choice but to support me. And he's like not going to get the support that he's looking for at this age because at that age, you're still like, my mom should love me unconditionally, which they should, by the way.
Yes, 100%.
But he still is functioning from the level of like, everything I say goes and you just have to do exactly what I'm saying. And if you don't do exactly what I say, then that means that you don't love me. And I'm just like, Michael's baby boy.
Let's think about this a little bit. Last season, she didn't want to talk to you because of her homophobia. Terrible, disgusting.
Yeah.
She's working on it. Good. FaceTiming you while you're wearing an ill-fitting blazer and no shirt, like while you're on camera, let's give her a little bit of a break.
Also, I need your opinion because we did meet this man last episode, but I would like to get your as a Los Angelino, as a performer yourself, as an actress and a singer and a comedian, I would love to hear your thoughts on this person who called and was like, showbiz business, I'm going to make it big for you. You got dreams? I can make those dreams come true. I was just like, Michaels? He was like, Times Square, you're going to be on it, baby. I was like, Michaels?
And he was like, I have huge news for you. And Michaels was like, okay, like a fashion show. And he was like, a cover of an online magazine no one's ever heard of, baby.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, it's just so funny to me. I never want anybody on this show to change. I need them to be in this capsule forever because they function so bizarrely.
I will say, no agent has ever been excited about me in that way. A lot of times they'll go, yeah, I think we could work together. And that's kind of as excited as it's gone for me. I'm also not a hot like Michaels. And I do think hots get a lot more like, yes, let's do this. Because everybody wants to see a hot and know them and talk to them. But no, it made my spidey senses tingle a little bit. I said, Michaels, you are going to be a catalog model and good for you. God bless. Your true passion is running Republic. And I respect that. But no, sketchy.
It was so funny. He was like, it's for an online publication. I beg your pardon?
Isn't it called like Okay Gay or something like that? Like it doesn't even have like a good name.
I didn't even catch the name. It probably was okay. It was like Hey Girl Magazine or something like that.
Like Homosexual Weekly or something. I don't know. It was it felt to me very Will and Grace, the name. But like but you know what? Maybe there'll be egg all over my face. It'll be the magazine of the year. Who knows?
Yeah. Next thing you know, it's featuring the boys from Heated Rivalry, and we do have egg on our faces. Okay. Okay, you pick Valley or Summer House?
You know, let's end with Summer House because I think that's the spicy hot. And let's go a little dark. Let's walk through the valley of the shadow of this show.
Okay, yeah, that's good. That's a good production call because I would have just been like, here's the best show that everybody's talking about right now at the front of the episode. Don't worry about the rest of it. Okay, you're right. Okay, let's talk about the walk through the valley and the shadow of darkness in the valley. Okay, this week on the Valley, Brittany visits a plastic surgeon who is now my number one arch nemesis. I hate that person.
On site.
I was so mad. We also meet her messy boyfriend, Brandon. There's a Y2K night for the moms that made me, frankly, quite sad. And then Nia and Danny threw a housewarming party where everybody got real weird with Jasmine.
And also Luke was dressed in a way that made me feel insane. Like every time I looked at the screen and I saw his little body with his unbuttoned shirt, I said, what in the Santa Clarita hell is going on here? Luke, you have gotten too comfortable. His first season, not comfortable enough. This season, way too comfortable. Reel it in. Also, I'm going to take off my carpal tunnel braces, so we're going to hear a little...
Oh, a little ASMR. Put it up against the mic, baby.
ASMR. It's a tough balance between pregnancy-induced carpal tunnel and gross braces on skin. And so they're not like that gross. Like I wash them, but like it's just like, like I wish I could wash them constantly.
Well, okay. Luke. Every episode, the more I think about it, the more I feel like this is true. I feel like Luke, like I think Kristen we know that she is a practicing witch, a woman of the spirit world.
Yes.
She believes in manifesting. She's doing potions. She's doing bonfires. I think that she covened a little too hard. I think she wished for herself a man who isn't like a man of the world that she lives in right now. And she cursed herself by accident with this man, because if you remember, one of the things we learned about Luke the very first season was that he lives like on a farm in the middle of nowhere, and he like never watched the TV show, and he's like not online. He's 35 years old.
Yeah.
And I think that what happened is that Luke really isn't from today. I don't think that he was born in 1995 or whatever, 1990. I think he was born in 1802.
Okay, so she sucked him up.
She did a curse. He came to the 21st century. And that's why he initially it was like so kind of like charming that he didn't like understand things. But now
these newfangled modern conveniences, as he was always saying.
Yeah. And then now it's like, now he's like, no, but you are a woman. You give me baby. Now you give me sex. Like he, I feel, is like, I don't understand what you mean by this. What do you mean postpartum? What? Like, I don't get it. Like, I need intimacy. Like, I think that that's why like Luke is the way he is. And that's my only explanation for it, because otherwise he's just a piece of shit. Like you're a millennial man and you still function this way. Like it's so gross. It's so red pilly. He was off the grid. He was by choice off the internet. That is weird stuff. That tells me, no, you're not off the internet. You're using the internet for weird stuff. You're not using the internet for whimsy and fun and education like the rest of us. You're not building a personality by being online, okay? You're being a weirdo. And I think like the paleness of it, I don't think he believes in sunscreen. He didn't know when he came to
he has to believe in sunscreen, because otherwise he would be dead in California. Like I will just say, as a fellow pale, like I'm wearing sunscreen so aggressively because the sun is so strong out here. So if he doesn't believe in sunscreen, he will be dead in 5 years. So we won't have to worry about that much.
I may have made that up about him.
Well, it's fine. Who cares? We can make anything up that we want about him. He's not going to listen to two women talk ever. I can guarantee it. Not concerned about that. It does seem... I also think Danny's influence is very bad. Mm-hmm. And I think like Kristen and Nia have been so close because they're on like such a same path that like proximity to the worst man I've ever seen, maybe. I mean, like Jax Taylor, the mind forgets so quickly, and now I only have hate for Danny. It's like the only redeeming thing about Luke, and it's a work for redemption, is that he did make Kristen breakfast, bring it to her, and hold the baby. When Kristen went out, he's holding the baby. He's got the baby.
That's true.
I'm not saying he's right in any way for what he's like talking about and nagging Kristen for and saying he hopes she comes home drunk for sex. Oh, Luke, stop. You're so romantic.
That was so bizarre. The fact that he was just like, yeah, I was just hoping you'd be like drunk.
I will say, I bet Kristen has had some crazy fun drunk sex. Like of all the people who I don't know, but know in my heart, I believe Kristen has had some really, really good times. And so I can see, I'm giving him like the slightest of passes because like, Luke, let's build on that, like,
yeah,
bring her more food, do more nice things for her. The more you do for her, the more she'll feel close to you, the better your relationship will be. If she ever wants to have sex with you again, it won't be dry in the vag and crying in the eye sex. It'll be, it'll be nice.
Oh my God. Yeah. It's just, and then also poor Kristen goes with Brittany to her babe mommy makeover appointment and they're talking and all this stuff. And then suddenly that man turns to Kristen and says, "You're next."
I was like, "Doctor, you're next."
I have never wanted to murder a person faster.
I screamed. I screamed.
And then it cut to Kristen's face, and I feel like the editors did like a womp womp like sound in the background because it was so crazy. And then Kristen's like, I look at my body and I hate it, and I like get really sad, and I just like can't stand it, and everything is terrible. And I was like, oh my God, Kristen, why are you here? You shouldn't be at this mommy makeover appointment. I feel like you should just be like at home eating Pringles off of
doing whatever. You're freaking breastfeeding. And even if you're not, you just squirted out a baby.
It's so insane. It was insane.
It broke my heart.
It was awful. This whole, baby bounce back stuff is so crazy to me. It only has gotten worse somehow. Like I was hoping that we're like in a body positivity space in the world and like it would get better. It apparently has not gotten better. It was just so deeply sad to see it. And I think like screw Janet, like can't stand her. Kind of glad that she's not on the show basically right now. I feel like she tried to do like an apology tour last episode and nobody
that
really
was the wildest thing I've ever seen.
And nobody took the bait. And then this episode, Jason talked to Luke and Luke was like, you should apologize to Danny. And Jason was like, "Brr!" And then everybody was like, okay, well, I guess Jason and Janet aren't going to film with us. That's fine. But like Janet, last season was like really on one. She was really out of control. She was screaming, yelling, crying, and like cussing everybody out and all that stuff. And then she shows up at the reunion and everybody's like, oh, Janet, you look so good. You look so good. Janet, you look amazing. And all they're talking about is how good Janet looks and she even says, she's like, oh, it's Adderall and coffee or something, which I was like, I'm glad we're joking about like substance abuse while we're talking about how Jax is a crazy person and Danny is a gropey McGrow person. Like it was
Danny is on every list.
But like they live, and you are more aware of this as a resident of the region.
Correspondent.
As boots on the ground, I feel like they live in an area that it's like liberal in so many ways, but there's such deep-seated red pilly, anti-women, like misogynist, weird, gross stuff that still has like a strong hold on like conservative, Christo-fascist, like trad wife shit.
I mean, LA like votes blue and like everybody in my circle is very liberal or like progressive, obviously. And like none of my friends are like, you got to bounce back or like, here's a trick to bounce back. Like that's not part of what we're doing. But I see women who are pregnant and they're so small. And then you find out that's 9 months and then they're back in Orange Theory a month later, like running a couple miles. And it's like, yikes. LA and Hollywood in general are so far behind where like New York is, not to make an LA to New York comparison, but like those are the two places I've lived. Like they're the ideas of like women as whole people, like we are still kind of in the 90s here in a lot of ways, and it's really wild. It makes me really sad for Kristen because like I do bet she takes little Kaya to like a mommy and me and sits next to like 4 women who are as thin as Janet who have a baby her age, and it's like the 3 months, not Kristen's age. And just are like and and it just is like a real, because like some people's bodies just do that. Lala's, I guess Lala is somebody, but like you don't know what somebody's doing, you don't know anything about their journey or their stuff, but like it's very hard not to compare. Like even I will be like, I see another pregnant woman and I'm like, oh wow, she looks like she just has the belly, and it's, you know, so like I'm sure it's even worse once you give birth. And like and Kristen is, you know, saddled with this man who like is like, let me put it in, instead of being like, you look beautiful, or like just saying nice things to her, you know? Like he could be building her up instead of trying to take something from her when all she currently is doing is giving.
Yeah, it's also weird because he's like, I think you're beautiful. She's like, she's like, Luke, I don't feel good in my body. I look at myself and like, I don't feel sexy. I don't feel good. And he's, oh, I think you're hot. Let me put it in. And it's like, that's so gross. It's so weird. I like can't stand it. Also, it probably doesn't help. Like, again, she is really good friends with Nia and they're on the same journey together. Nia's on her 4th child and Nia looks very different, and Nia is like a pageant girl. I mean, Kristen, before she had a baby, that girl was sucking down entire bottles of champagne and chain smoking. We've known her since she was like 25, you know?
And we've seen her drink so much, the same as some small countries. So, I felt really proud of her when she came home and was like sober, and the next morning she's like, I can't be hungover with a baby. Like I was like, oh, Kristen's like an adult, like that.
Yeah, like Kristen grew up. Kristen's like, yeah, Kristen, the old Kristen would have been like, suck a dick to the baby, or like, you know what I mean? Like, I do appreciate that. Like, but I feel like you have somebody like Nia who immediately in the first episode was like, well, have you had a date night? Like your baby's 2 months old. Have you guys had a date night? You need a date night. The date night is a paid extra on the fucking Valley because these people are fucking obsessed with date night.
A cursed term.
It's so annoying. Everybody's constantly doing date nights. It's like the only thing you guys have to live for is fucking date night. It's so bizarre.
Also, Nia, do you have date nights with your little troll husband? Because it doesn't seem that. Oh God, I'll get into him. I'm sorry.
Let's get into him because that's my segue to this was going to be. I don't think that Nia and Danny are the influence that like It's hard to tell because like I think like they live in a they're like Danny and like in the after show is like talking about how like they're homeschooling their kids, and he's like, oh, Nia said that schools make employees and homeschooling makes CEOs or something stupid in his fake accent. He's from Michigan. Nobody talks that way. And like, but I watch them interact with each other on the show, and I don't get the sense that Nia A likes him at all, or like B, like I can't quite get a sense of who Nia is because Janet's going around talking about how like, oh, we don't see eye to eye. Like Nia and Danny and us, we're never going to go along. Our politics are very different than them.
Oh, Jason and I are.
And Jason and I are very liberal people, and that's why people are never going to like us, Which Janet's trying to make it about her politics, and I'm like, no, Janet, it's not that. I'm glad
I think it's both.
But
kind of like, and also, didn't they move to Santa Clarita for the schools?
I don't know. It's really bizarre. But then Nia has been like talking to like people online about how like she's like, I don't know what the fuck Janet's talking about. We are not MAGA at all. We've never been Trump supporters. Like,
really?
So I don't know if it's like a situation where Janet sees that they're like Christian, like they're very Christian, and so she just assumes that like Nia and Danny are like, you know, especially because Danny's always like, I'm a man of faith.
I
Like,
have a servant's heart.
God.
Wife, give me sex and 40 babies.
I can't stand. Okay, let's just jump into Danny. I don't like that man.
Okay,
I don't like him.
When Nia had to bring her mom on the bus to Hollywood, me, who has not yet had any babies, was like, oh, it sucks that the baby will only take a boob. And then I was talking to my friend Joanna. Hi, Joanna. And she was like, that's not how that works. Like,
Yeah.
the baby will take a bottle if you leave the house.
Yep.
And the baby has a bottle to take. So like Danny, and then when it was only Nia who kept trying to give the bottle, the boob can't give the bottle. The baby is going to be like, don't try to trick me. I know it's right there. Like, the dad has to give the bottle.
And so we had a very similar situation. Like, I was talking to you earlier about like I exclusively breastfed 2 monster tank babies. They're
Brave,
so cute.
iconic.
And I do believe that I had a very easy time breastfeeding. I did not have the issues that a lot of people do. I had great latches. Everything was fine. And I have said it before. I believe I come from a family of wet nurses. My family's, my ancestors must have fed entire villages the way that I lactated. It was so much.
And I really wish you could have sold it. I know we've already talked about this, but man, that would have been great.
I wish that in the year 2014, somebody had told me that we were selling breast milk, because I would have had so much money. But
I'm glad they didn't, because only creeps knew then. And so, you know, it's a complicated capitalism.
Am I right?
You would have had to hear it from a creep.
This episode is brought to you by Redfin. You're listening to a podcast, which means you're probably multitasking. Maybe even scrolling home listings on Redfin, saving homes without expecting to get them. But Redfin isn't just built for endless browsing. It's built to help you find and own a home. With agents who close twice as many deals, when you find the one, you've got a real shot at getting it. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
Halliday presents, in the red corner, the undisputed, undefeated Weed Whacker Guy. Champion of hurling grass and pollen everywhere. And in the blue corner, the challenger, extra strength Halliday. Eye drops that work all day to prevent the release of histamines that cause itchy allergy eyes. And the winner by knockout is Halliday. Halliday, bring it on.
Choice Hotels get you more of what you value. Here's a little tune to help you remember. Same drive, different day. Don't you wish you were getting away? Pack your bags and come on through. Texas, Ohio, Alaska, we're up there too. Comfort Inn, it's calling your name. Save on the stay. Oh, and free waffles are yours to claim. Well, I hope you like my little song. Book direct at choicehotels.com.
So like, I had a situation where I had an entire house full of people and so many people who wanted to help, but like my husband works at a hospital, never worked from home, was like always at work. And so I was often like trying to give the bottle, and yes, the boob cannot give the bottle, so it didn't work. And then I would try to like get the grandparents to give the bottle, and the grandparents would get too upset. Like they would be like, no, just like give the baby the boob because this is too difficult, right?
Oh my God,
and
grandparents, grow up.
Grow up.
Every grandparent in America, grow up just a little bit.
Yeah, seriously, man up, okay? You beat us. How dare you not just give the baby a bottle? That's so weird. So then, like, we had that situation. I definitely saw the exact same thing with Danny and Nia. The fact that she had to rent a party bus that she could sit in to nurse the baby, it made me sad for her. And that's why I said, like, the Y2K party was so, like, I would have had a great time there. I think that it would have been great saying, like, it's 8 p.m. and nobody's here. I'm with Kristen. No lines.
Oh, my dream.
Incredible. No people. Very nice. Minor drama. Excellent. Go home and I'm sober. Like, you know, she got home. It was like 11 p.m. and she was like, I'm sober. I'm going to wash my face and I'm going to get into bed. And I can't wait. Like, it was really nice. It made me really sad for Nia because something about her like lugging a stroller out for a girls' night just depressed the fuck out of me.
And her mom, like, I was like, I wonder so much if there's a nanny or a babysitter at home with those 3 kids. Because, like, does Danny take care of the children at all? He certainly doesn't help with the baby, and no wonder Nia feels like she's drowning.
I will just never forget that the house that they lived in, or the apartment they lived in before they went to Santa Clarita, was just like lined with strollers and cribs. I felt like there was no space there. And I was just like, where is the money going? And I get it. California is very expensive. LA is very expensive.
And
but
three children are very expensive.
Yeah. And it now 4. And like now you're like, okay, where, like, it just makes me really depressed that Nia is completely every time she talks about living in Santa Clarita, she's like, it's the middle of nowhere. I live away from all of my friends. I'm completely by myself. I have no community here. I'm like, Nia, get out.
Yeah, Nia, run.
But then you have moments where Nia is like basically ready to scream at Danny. And I think that there's like a humiliation kink there.
For him.
Yeah. I think that there's something about, like, I always say this, the cameras go down and she is like, Daniel, you piss me the fuck off. And
I wonder.
Okay.
I wonder, because to me, he seems like somebody who is so proud of himself all the time. That Southern accent thing, I was like, you deserve to be mortally like stabbed in this moment. Like you have to stop.
And the plastic surgeon. Go
Both
jump
of
off
you.
a cliff.
Honestly, double grave. I'm done with it. I'm done. When he kept doing it and she was like, I really can't talk to you when you're doing this. Please stop. And he was like, what do you mean, partner? That's my accent. It's like, I was like, Nia would be so much happier raising these children on her own.
Yes. Every time I see somebody on Bravo with a cowboy hat, I always say, look at that snake in my boots looking ass. But in this situation, Danny really was, there's a snake in my boots looking ass. Because he did not stop. It was so bizarre. And he's so small.
He's very small.
And we'll talk about small men when we talk about Summer House, because that's some of the footage that came out just this afternoon.
Listen, there are small men who are hot as hell, and there are small men who act small. And Danny, I don't care if Danny is 7 feet tall. He's a small man.
And you know,
trying to have a son so your son doesn't grow up with just sisters, calling the police. If I called the police every time that Danny did something wrong, they would block me from 911. I just
it's true. No, it's true. It's true. And you know what's crazy is like Danny is such a small man that he kind of makes Jesse Lally look tall. And we know that Jesse Lally is also a wee lad.
Yeah, but Jesse Lally is like in middle school and Danny is in elementary school. Like it's because I believe Jesse Lally can lay it down at the very least.
Maybe he would be like very, yeah, possibly. And I was gonna say, and Jax is a returning senior.
Jax is on a 17-year high school plan. He keeps being like, it's fine to date the girls. They're in my class. Like,
like, no, Jax, you're 21 now, and they're 14. You can't do that anymore.
You have to stop. Also, I didn't recognize either of those doctors, and I've seen all of Jax's nose job doctors, so. Maybe the guy who came in second, definitely not the one who told Kristen, you're next. I don't recognize him. And I said, you did not do Jax Taylor's nose reconstruction surgeries, which Jax did not get those nose jobs for cosmetic reasons.
No, he blew out his nose from cocaine. Of
septum
course.
had holes. Come on.
Come on, guys. Come on. Speaking of y'all, Brittany is like really harring so hard this season. Like that episode, the scene where she's like sitting with Brandon and like at a date every day, she turned into the fucking Cookie Monster.
It was also, I just went there for my husband's birthday. He picked the restaurant. And then when it came on the Valley, I was like, we're just like them. They sat one table over from where we sat.
She was like, I've never been here. I've never sat on this side of the restaurant. Okay. And then every time a food came, she was like, yum. She turned into the Cookie Monster. She was like, yes. Like her voice was so strange. It was the weirdest thing. I was like, are you nervous? Is this your first time filming? Why are you behaving this way, Brittany?
I think that Brittany is on a on a path to being like, and I am in love and I am happy and everything is good. And it's like, Brittany, you are trying to convince us. You're really trying to convince Zach, and you're trying to convince yourself. Be single. Raise that precious boy. Like, I think she is an incredible mother.
Yes.
And like, let's maybe like get it in when you want to. I'm not saying be a nun, but I'm saying like, let's take a minute and say like, why am I drawn to men who love the camera so much? Why am I calling up somebody who I knew in Kentucky and stopped dating when I met Jax? Like, he lives 3 hours away, aka like 5 minutes from Santa Clarita. So, like, what? Like, just chill for a second. You're gonna be fine.
Yeah,
it makes me really sad to see her like compulsively not being single. And like, this guy is cute and he seems nice enough, but I think he's doing the same thing. He's like, will you be my girlfriend? And it's like, well, how about we wait till your wife's an ex-wife? You know, like, how about we wait till the divorce is final? How about we just like, everybody take a breath?
Yeah, like if he had approached it with, listen, Brittany, I am not hooking up with anybody else. I really like you. I'm really glad we're hanging out. I am only seeing you, and I don't want to pressure you into what you want to do next, because I know you're like going through it, but I just want to be honest with you and tell you that you're the only person I'm seeing. And he could have said it that way and it would have been fine. But this like the candle that Brittany was like, now don't blow it out.
Oh my God.
Relax. Brittany, please relax. Act like a human being.
Calm down, Brittany. Like, everything's gonna be okay. She's gonna try to marry this man before the end of the season, and it's just like, I feel like this is Sherry's doing. I don't want to blame moms for everything, but like, Sherry, how many men did you bounce back on? Like, let's just take a second. Let's do our mommy makeover. Let's post thirst traps. And maybe she's doing it because being with somebody else is the only way she won't get back with Jax.
Oh God, which is like a whole other depressing thing. You know what I mean? Like, that is so upsetting.
Yeah, very dark.
Very dark. Brandon, do you feel like he's doing too much by getting involved in the mix, as Carl Radke would say, by taking information from Lala's car and bringing it to Jasmine?
Normally, I would say yes. I like that he was defending Jasmine.
Yes.
I clocked that and I said, that makes me like Brandon, because like, this whole cast tends to like other Jasmine in a way they don't care for. And I felt very much like Brandon was like, not on my watch. So like, I liked that aspect of it. But also, all of these people are so bad at communicating what has happened, starting with Michelle. Michelle, number one. Like, you don't need to run over and like incite Lala at the bar. Like, there's a much better, and even if we're just looking to create drama, there's a smoother way to do it, which would be to like, later when you're with Lala and Jasmine, you'd be like, oh, like, it's so nice to you guys are kind of friends. It seemed like maybe you weren't, because Jasmine said like, without the show you would never hang out, and like, that's how you create the drama. But Michelle went and just like lied and then was like, I didn't.
Well, she's also a robot. She's also learning how to be human.
But you'd think a robot would be better at like remembering data.
No, come on. We know AI sucks. You and I know. This is
anti-AI.
bad. This is why the robot anti-AI. This is why the robots are bad. Even the way she said it, she was like, she said that Jesse's like a showman, and then she said that Lala's a showman too. And I was like, that's not even close to what she said. She said, like, what? And I think what Michelle was saying was a great point. Everybody's being really nice to Jesse, but I think it's for the show. If it wasn't for the show, you guys would not be hanging out with him, right? And Jasmine said, yeah, I mean, if we're being honest, I don't think we'd be hanging out with Lala, because of course Jasmine is saying Lala and Schwartz are now part of the show on the Valley. Why? Because of the show. Like, we're not actually going to be hanging out with them when the cameras go down. That's what Jasmine is saying.
Schwartz.
But like, what
Sorry,
Michelle took, yeah, no, I agree. But what Michelle took back to Lala was like, she thinks that you're the greatest showman, and you're like, No, what?
No.
I've never even seen that movie.
Yeah, like she's not quoting Erica Jane on the Valley. Like it's just not.
It was so strange. And then like even in the car, she like says something completely wrong. And then even what Brandon says to Jasmine, I was like, okay, he's saying like, hey, like just so you know, like they were talking about it. And I feel like there's like, and I think that he was also being messy, but I appreciate that he was doing, because I think Brandon is a man of color. I believe that he's like mixed. And so if he's a biracial man or whatever, he's seeing that there's one Black woman on the show. And if you guys are going to sit in a car with me and talk about her, I am going to defend her, which is fine. But
I appreciated that about him.
Exactly. But then even later, I thought he messed up, because when they all go to the kitchen and Jasmine's like really upset, he's like, no, Jasmine, I never said anything to upset you. And I was like, I don't like that.
Brandon. And then he seems like he's scared of like displeasing Brittany, but Brittany is displeased.
She's displeased. I did not hear one single Cookie Monster sound come out of her mouth when she was in that kitchen. And I also didn't like Zach being like, oh, Jasmine, you don't know what you're talking about. And I was like, no, you're not going to make her look like she's a crazy person.
Also, Zach, you were not there for all of it. You don't know what you're talking about. So shut up. Like, I don't like Jasmine having to be like, I'm sensitive, I guess I'm sensitive. And it's like, no, first of all, everyone's really drunk. Because second of all, like, everyone's misrelaying information and then no one is correcting it. Yeah. And if I'm Jasmine, I do like, I'm the only lesbian on the show. I'm the only Black woman on the show. Like, I'm already a little bit like, I'm already a little defensive, because it's like, these people are not aware enough to know that they're treating people differently.
Yeah, and also like Lala's whole thing of being like, oh, I hear that Jasmine like is nice to your face, but then talks shit about you later. Yeah, welcome to being a person of color in a room full of white people. It's what we do, okay? We have to be nice to you because that's the polite thing to do. And then we turn around and we're like, these fucking white people, that's the way that we do it. That's not like going back. Like it's just how we have to function, because like much like we've learned on Summer House, right? Or viewers have learned on Summer House, is when a Black person is by themselves or a person of color is by themselves, they have to behave very differently around white people. And then you really see our personalities come out when you see a member of the tribe in the same room. It just is a different vibe, right? And so like this whole thing of Lala being like, I heard like, is there something for me to like watch out for Jasmine? I thought she was your fucking friend. You've known her for 10 years. Why are you
also,
asking what
Lala,
Jasmine's
I'm
like?
sorry. You're so eager to like fake that you want to sleep with every Black man who comes on camera from Vanderpump Rules. Although I've never seen you like date a person of color. I've never seen you. And this is also completely cribbed from Everyone's Business But Mine. But like, Lala seems pretty comfortable, like being like, we should sleep together. Like it reminds me, do you remember Lena Dunham a long time ago sat next to, I think it was a football player. I'll definitely not remember.
It was Odell Beckham Jr. And she said that he liked her and he was hitting on her. And he was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
And she was like, Black guys love me. And it's like, that's Lala. That's Lala.
Yeah,
and like,
she went up to that lifeguard at her kid's birthday party and was like, if this wasn't my kid's birthday party, I would have fucked him by now. Shut up, Lala. There's like Lala is like captain of the fetishizing Black people and Black culture team, like
teaching her baby to do the like pop. Like Lala, that's not, there's 100 different levels on which I don't like that.
Yeah, I'm displeased.
Okay? I don't like it. And I just think like Lala is a culture vulture fetishizing like danger. And I think she's a little bit dangerous in that way. And it's like,
yes.
Like, you know, when you watch old Atlanta and you're like, at least for me, every time that Kim Zolciak, now Bierman, now not Bierman, comes on the screen, I'm like, she's going to say the N-word. She's going to say the N-word. Like, I can't look because I'm so like anxious at how much Kim is like about to do something fucked up at all times. And like, Lala, it's giving. Okay. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah. Remember she said that she was like Tupac incarnate or something.
Sit next to what? Kanye.
And, that's just a good reminder of the darkness from whence we came. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Let's talk about Summer House. Very important that I do express that this is the first time you and I have had a chance to really get on mic and talk about this scandalo of Amanda West and Kyle. What a time to be an Amanda, huh?
It's a tough time to be an Amanda. I'm not watching Beverly Hills, but it's just bad all around on the network. It's made me look inward and say, are we the problem? I would never, ever, ever, ever go for a friend's ex, especially if I knew my friend still had feelings for them. Never. If in some crazy world there were to be a situation where we were there for each other in the ups and downs and somehow we fell in love, I would talk to my friend before I talk to anyone else, including the guy. But that's like, because that's like the most honorable thing you can do in that situation that you shouldn't be in the first place. Why are you talking to West so much? But now we have seen that Amanda Batula is queen of the pick-me's.
Hey, I like your new RAV4.
Thanks, yours too.
What does RAV stand for anyway?
To me, it's the Remarkably Advanced Vehicle.
Really? To me, it's the Runway Approved Vehicle for its amazing style.
What about Remarkably Adaptable Vehicle because of its versatile cargo space?
Or Really Admired Vehicle?
Oh, or Really Awesome Vehicle.
It really is the Recreational Activity Vehicle. The stylish 2026 Toyota RAV4 Limited. What's your RAV4?
She really is. And
she's getting a nice edit.
Oh my God. And they're working hard, by the way, I feel this season to try to like pull as much footage as they can. Andy did say on like Radio Andy or whatever that they are cutting the show right now, like every week. So we know what is being put out. I've heard from a couple of people who have screeners that it just gets worse and worse for everybody as you watch the show. But before we get into this week's episode, we do have to touch on Sierra's Glamour article. It came out today. She finally went and said her part of the story. She did say in the article that she's going to be talking about all of this stuff at the reunion. She's nervous about it, but she's like happy to do it then. But in the article, I will say every time she talked about West and Amanda, it kind of like bummed me out. Not because like I don't want to hear about it, but it bummed me out because again, to me, it's very indicative of Sierra valued these people and her relationship with these people so much more than they ever valued her. She talks about her birthday party and how like she invited Amanda to it, but like she knew Amanda wasn't going to come. And it was like a very intimate party and like West came, but like she didn't really know like where they were. Like it just made me sad for her that she was like dragging these friendships from like work essentially along in her intimate personal spaces because she thought that they should be given that respect when they did not respect her. And that part of it really bummed me out. The other thing I have to say is I am going to clock my own bias was when I read the article, the spread is incredible. It's very beautiful. When I read the article, I realized she just turned 30. So
She's so young.
We met Sierra when she was 24 years old. And this is going to, like, I want to touch on my own bias and my own sort of view. And also, I think how women are presented to us, especially Black women. I watched Summer House always thinking of Paige and Amanda as little girls. But I never gave Sierra that opportunity to be like a young girl who makes mistakes. And I think that goes to like our own bias of how Black women should be behaving, or like our idea of the world has told us like Black women automatically are treated like they need to be more mature and more responsible and all that. And then we sort of watch them and go, oh, you're older. Like you're more mature. You're older than them.
To that point, she has been a nurse.
Yes.
She does carry herself with more poise. And like maybe that's part of it too, is like she feels like she has to be more poised. But also like she's such a lady.
Yeah.
You know, like I respect her more than I respect Amanda and Paige. But like the season where she was so hung up on Austin, that's when I was like, she is young.
Yeah.
And I think that is a young person's hang up. And like her being so messy in her room, I was like, this is young. You know, like this is what it is to be young. But she's also so wise. I see your point, and I think Sierra like presents herself on the show as not like a little dipshit, and so it's easier to think of her as a little bit more mature.
Totally, but I also think for myself, I didn't give her as much grace on the show. I think in general, like our own internal bias of how we consume white women on television versus Black women on television, and I'm just going to speak for myself, is that, and we've seen the way like people are responding to Amanda, like, you know, even Kyle saying like she's having mental health issues and all this stuff, like this like infantilizing of women, of white women versus like Sierra needs to always be like mature and strong and bold and classy, you know, whereas like when she was hung up on Austin, we were like, why the fuck are you doing that? Even with the West stuff, it's like, why are you hung up on West? It's crazy to me
started
that
dating when she's 27.
It's crazy to me that she just turned 30. And Amanda is 4 to 5 years older than this woman. So like,
I give Kyle a little bit of a pass on the mental health stuff because he is her ex-husband.
Yeah.
But the entire internet, white women on the internet, need to take a fucking chill pill on Amanda. Like, first of all, nobody should be giving anybody death threats. That's bananas. So like, I do agree with that. And if you need to tell yourself it's for their mental health, great. It's for your own. Don't be a weirdo and leave death threats on somebody's Instagram.
Yeah, that's bizarre.
But like Amanda, and like I think she was in an abusive relationship, but also you know, also apparently doing all these shenanigans. But like, I used to read comments, like even last season, I read a comment online that was like, Amanda's the heart of the show. And I was like, in what?
I beg your pardon? What?
I was like, I thought we all knew that Amanda like kind of sucked, but like, you know, she's doing her best or what, you know, like I thought it was like, oh, we all know that Amanda is the plus one, no matter who she's with.
Yes.
She's Kyle's plus one. She's Paige's plus one. She's Sierra's plus one. Like Amanda's the friend who's been brought along, not the heart of the house. That is show.
So upsetting to me. Not the heart of the show, like the fart of the show. I don't think so. That's we'll get into the farts. Okay. All I have to say, Sierra Miller, I'm happy for your success. I'm glad that her first time speaking out was a gorgeous cover on Glamour, like a spread on Glamour magazine.
To Hunter Harris, who is a wonderful interviewer and very good on Twitter, which I used to enjoy her on.
Yes. And you know, I'm just happy for her and keep getting your bag.
And keep ascending. She's on an ascent to stardom. She is a star in a way that like most people in this house, and I will exclude Lindsay Hubbard from that. I will exclude Mia, obviously. But she's a star in a way that a lot of the people on the show don't comprehend.
Yeah, and I think that the fandom of Bravo is so problematic because it really was shocking to me to see that Amanda Batula has over 1 million followers and Sierra didn't. And I know, like, who cares? Like, people are going to listen to me like, oh, who cares about followers? Unfortunately, we have to. It's the world that we live in. Followers
and that's how
they
literally make
currency.
Their money.
Exactly.
Like, that it's actually a huge deal because that is a financial impact on their lives. They put all their shit out there for us to judge. I don't generally like to follow Bravo people because I feel like you get a spoiler that like I don't care for it. I follow Marlo, and I follow like Shanice and maybe one other person from Summer House Martha's Vineyard. And like that's not going to be a spoiler anytime soon, unfortunately. Unfortunately, but I started following Sierra during all of this, but like I certainly didn't also follow West or Amanda. No. If I wanted to see how to dress shitty but be skinny in it, I would just walk outside. It's LA.
Yeah, exactly. The other thing that also came out is, of course, that Kyle Cook, just like the bizarrest thing ever. Kyle Cook was pictured, not just pictured, videoed, given a little smoochy poo to Meghan King Edmonds? Oh, to Will Biden? The funniest thing about the video is my little guy, my little buddy, my little Polly Pocket, Kyle Cook. He perches his hands on her shoulders. He props himself up. He does a little toes maxing or whatever it is that the kids are calling it these days, and he lays one on her. And I was like, oh my God, he's literally on his toesies. Tippy toesies, and he was like, mommy, give me a boost. And he like kissed her, and everybody's like, that's shocking, and also that she's apparently 2 years younger than him.
Well, that's shocking. Wow, okay, now I'm shocked. I saw the video and I said, my God, somebody around his age, I'm thrilled. Let Kyle make out with every 37 and up Bravo star who exists. I would like after he was spotted with Ava Dash, and I was like, typical Kyle.
I know.
Going after a young. I respected a lot more for him to just give a little smooch to Meghan King Edmonds. And listen, I love a short king who is like down to clown, you know, like he was like, if I have to stand on my toes to give her a smooch, I'm going to stand on my toes to give her a smooch. I'm comfortable enough. And, you know, on the show, they'd give me an apple box, but we're not on the show. Like,
he's like, I'm down to clown, and I'm also down to climb, which is what I'm going to do. Give me your shoulders. Let me just hop up for a second. He
kind of got his grip. Like he like moved her hair and then was like, okay, I feel stable. Cause like in your 40s, you can't just be hopping up. Okay. You could really hurt yourself on the way down. I twisted an ankle on some ice when I turned 41, and I said, those times for hopping up are over. You gotta be careful. So, you know, Kyle, like, do I want to see them date? No. Ew, God. But like, kind of, you know, I was so pleased to see him kiss a woman his own age that I like couldn't think about anything else. Cause I was like, you know, I just assumed he was going to like plow his way through every 31-year-old in Murray Hill. And like, that's, you know, maybe he's also doing that.
It was also, the kiss was so interesting because it felt like a kiss that you would give a person that you've kissed quite a bit before. So like it felt to me like they were like making out somewhere, and then they were like, somebody said online they were waiting for a chopped cheese at their bodega, and then they waiting for like the Uber or whatever. And I was just like, I don't know, it makes me happy. And the thing is, Miss Meghan King Edmonds Biden O'Toole is gonna find herself a man. Like Tom Hamlet said, there's a joke in here to be made about like her roaming around Ireland looking for like Irish people in her like lineage, and like him looking like an absolute tiny little leprechaun. Like, yeah. I think that there's just something beautiful to be said there, and maybe like that's it for him. Look, if Joe Bradley,
you gotta manifest what you want. Yeah. And Meghan King Edmonds O'Toole Biden, maybe Cook, was like wandering around Ireland being like, are you it? Are you it? And then she came to New York City and said, maybe this.
Maybe this.
Didn't she like lose custody of her kids, or is that made up?
I don't know what's going on over there. It's honestly, it's one of those really stressful things. Somebody said online, what if the private investigator that Kyle got to find out what Amanda's up to was actually Meghan King Edmonds Biden O'Toole?
You know, and maybe she can't have those kids because she is living a dangerous life, a spy's life.
A spy's life.
I mean, to be a Bravo spy would be the greatest dream of all time. Like, I wouldn't give up my family, but like, would I? You know, like, if we'll just like see what the money's like.
Oh my God. It was one of those things where I was like, I was getting a little like bummed out with all of the information that was coming out from Summer House, like fucking Amanda and Wes being at like the most popular bar in New York City, like
with a bunch of young people. That is where the youngs go to party. And like, guys, you go like any other, oh God, like in New York, there's never anybody there looking at you, looking for you. I have cried everywhere in New York City, uninterrupted. I cried at a CVS this week, and a very nice CVS employee came up to me and said, "Do you need help in the eye care department?" And I said, "No." In New York, I could have just sobbed in the aisles as long as I wanted. There would have been space and time for me to do that. No one's trying to take pictures of you or know about you.
Yeah.
Like, they went to the place where they would be the most seen. And that is like, it just like the disrespect is out of control. And like, that's part of it for them. Clearly being seen is part of it. I've seen theories that are like, Amanda wants West to lock it down, so she keeps putting him in the public eye so people see. And like, maybe West wants to be seen more than anything in the entire world. He wants to be loved, and if he can't loved it, he at least has to be seen. And like, it's really nasty to see how they are like doing this.
Yeah, they were bumming me out. So then to see Kyle climb up on former Real Housewife, I was just like, you know what? This is nice.
There's fun to be had.
Nice. There's fun to be had. The weather's finally good in New York City. The sun's out. It's been like 70 to 80 degrees all week. Like perfect April weather. Everybody's out. And I was just like, good for you, Kyle. Like it just made me happy. You know, it made me have hope again. It made me excited to be a Bravo fan.
Because there are always sunny sides of these scandals. Like Sierra's interview with Glamour was like very well done. The photo spread was incredible. And my heart just ached for her. Like all she wants is to be cherished. And like, she so deserves that. Everybody deserves to be cherished. And like, I feel like part of the plight of a Bravo woman, a woman on Bravo, especially, even in Housewives, is that a lot of them settle for scraps because they don't know that they deserve to be cherished. And like, Sierra's gotten very good, I think, at setting boundaries and like not doing that. But like, you know, we got old yuck over on the Valley, and like, Kristen with her sex pest fiance just chasing her around. And like,
poor Maddie Reese is here with the Rizless Joseph Bradley.
I mean, her fiance, like, who is not nice to her, does not respect her. And that's just like the shows that are airing. Like, you look at the Housewives, like,
I mean, we just met Rula. We met Rula over in Rhode Island, who's just settling for the worst. An actual thumb of a man.
This man and his treacherous eyebrows. I saw those eyebrows on that pointy little face of his, because the head just points up and then the eyebrows are so small. It was like, I just felt so chagrined for like, because like Rula, gorgeous, you know, and then she's with this cartoon of a man who
truly a cartoon.
He's posting his cheating on Facebook. On Facebook. God, like the disrespect is out of control. And like, he is not the, you know, like, oh God. When I watch a Real Housewives show, really, I got back into Bravo when I was very single and having a hard time with it. And one thing that Bravo helped me do is say, there are much worse things than being single. Yeah. And look at all these different options of ways that can go.